What's up, party people? It's your old pal F here. Welcome to a special edition of FBOMBS. Um, I'm super duper excited because tomorrow we are premiering our next big pilot episode for the channel. And this is one that has been in the making since the very beginning of the channel. But it also epitomizes everything I love about indie animation, everything I love about what we're doing here at Fountain's Pen Cartoons. So first of all, more than anything, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching this, if you're watching this. Um, I'm just so excited about this cartoon. I get excited about absolutely everything that we put up on the channel. So please, when you're done watching this, please, like, share, subscribe, and check out all the stuff we've got here. Because I gotta say, we've got quite a bit to offer on this channel in the way of, cartoons, cartoon content, commentary. There's the great podcast that is done about working on this show. It's a great little window into the workings of independent animation. So I heavily encourage you to, when you're done watching this, check out all of the content that we have here, especially the cartoons, because the cartoons are why the channel exists. I do these things. I'm not too proud to say it, strictly to help bump up our watch hours so that we can get to a point where we're monetized and get to a point where we're paying our people and that sort of thing. Because oh my gosh, this cartoon, our next premiere cartoon, is such an example of how great this team is, and how great all of our teams are at Fountain's Pen Cartoons, given all of the limitations that we've basically put on ourselves. As I've mentioned before, we are all just collaborating together strictly for the love of the craft. We don't have any Patreon. We don't have any, crowdfunding or anything like that. We have committed to doing our first big batch of cartoons free so that we can present them to you and say, okay, what do you like? What don't you like? What should we do more of? And after that, we will undoubtedly move into some territory where we look to get viewer support. But for now, we are doing all this for free. We've done this for free, and we've done it with people with very little to no experience who exist all around the globe. This is a cartoon that was made with just people working on it in their spare time, all because they love the craft, all because they love the art form of cartoons. And I got to tell you, it's been a blast, and it continues to be a blast. So let's talk a little bit about this cartoon. You can see the logo behind me, the Petty Avenger. Before I go any further, let me give a big shout out to Lathan Tedford and Cosette Delisle. And yes, I had a cheat sheet over here because most of the time I just see you guys by your screen names in the Discord server, so I wanted to make sure I got it right. Also, of course, and by the way, I wish I could just go through the entire credits and talk about everybody who worked on this cartoon, because I've seen this go through so many iterations. So many people have done. People within the server have done fan art, and believe it or not, they've done shipping art with this cartoon. It's pretty darned hilarious. So I also want to shout out, of course, to my tip of the spear, Tiger Singh, Ty Walker, and Jeremy Freed, who handle all of the stuff that I couldn't possibly handle on my own. So thank you to all you folks. But seriously, thank you not only to the people who worked on the Petty Avenger, but thank you to everyone at the Fountain's Pen Cartoons studio. Because I almost wish I could, just sort of show you guys screenshots and whatnot of the day-to-day banter that goes on among our crews. It is such an amazing little family we've got going. People have become friends. They have movie nights and stuff like that. It's really, really a wonderful thing. And like I said, it's all born from a love of making and showing cartoons. So let's talk a little bit about the Petty Avenger. Here he is. I did this very recently. But the Petty Avenger, as a character, was born at least 10, possibly 15 years ago, because he was a character that I thought of right after my wife and I had moved to New York City. We were living in Brooklyn, and that was after having, met, fell in love, and getting married in Los Angeles. We had both sort of said to each other, we've kind of had our fill of LA, let's move. And she had a great job offer in New York, so we packed up everything and we moved from coast to coast, from Los Angeles to New York City, and we sat down in I think it was Park Slope, Brooklyn, and it was an enormous culture shock for me. Now, she had gone to school in New York. My wife actually had a decent education. She went to NYU, whereas I went to school in my hometown at Western Michigan University. So she, being a city girl from Los Angeles, who then also went to college in New York, it was not a tremendous culture shock for me for her. And I didn't think it would be that much of a culture shock for me, because at this point, I'd spent the last 20 years or so living in both Detroit and Los Angeles, and I'm like, oh, I'm completely sophisticated now. This is not going to be a culture shock to me. And boy, was I wrong. I'd been to New York, a few times, but I never lived in New York. And boy, you know what? It's true what they say. It is a world all its own. It's a completely different situation in New York with all things. Like you learn to walk differently, talk differently, get around differently. Just everything. It's its own microcosm. It's oh look, there's my alarm. Sorry about that. It's just its own. It's like what is the bottled city of Kandor from Superman? It's just its own thing, and it has its own rules and its own life. And by the way, for the record, I love it there. I love New York City. I was really happy that we spent 10 years living there. It was a scary place to be when COVID broke out, but, I will always have a love and affection for New York City. So anyway, when we were living in New York, I was kind of at a place where I was mostly working from home. I had become the pilot guy, and so I was constantly doing storyboards or directing pilots for shows that most of which did not get picked up, so I'm not going to bother naming them. But I was home all the time while my wife would go to work. And but what I would also do is I sort of decided to myself was I wanted to do a daily, or not daily, I wanted to do a weekly comic strip that I would just literally do for myself and for the friends I have on social media. So I just, once a week, I would do a single panel comic, put it up online, and it would just be for me and my then very sort of small circle of social media friends to enjoy. And I'll try to put a link in the description to a place on one of the other pages where you can see the original comic strip upon which this is based, or I'll put it in a post here. How about that? So living in New York, so I was doing a weekly single panel comic strip, and they were gag strips, and I did think to myself, oh, maybe I'll send these off somewhere and see if somebody wants to publish them. Of course, nobody was interested in any of them because it was my sense of humor, which is apparently very niche. So, but one of the things that struck me about New York that I hadn't experienced in the previous times that I had visited there was, now I'm living in New York, and cell phones, smartphones are everywhere. So everywhere you go, I think it's a pretty, obvious trope, the whole hustle and bustle of the big crowds of people walking around New York City, and everyone just, pushing up against one another and trying to move up against one another. But what had changed since the last time I'd been to New York is now New York is constantly hustle and bustle. There's constantly people moving and walking and going and this and that and the other, but they're all holding phones. And none of them are looking where they're going. None of them are paying attention to the traffic lights. None of them are paying attention to anything around them because they are all on their phones. And so one of the things that happened was, I would find myself, needing to get places. And, there would be people just blocking the sidewalk, taking up all the room on the sidewalk, and they would be walking at a snail's pace, and because they would be looking at their phones. And one of the things that I'd come to expect about New York City was, everyone expects you to move right along. It is a city that is, perpetually on the move, and people are trying to get stuff done, and important things are happening, and yet I would just constantly get stuck behind people blocking the streets because they were on their phones, and it was really aggravating. So naturally, I did a comic strip about it. And I'm not gonna, go into the details of the comic strip because it's gonna get translated into the cartoon that hopefully you're gonna watch. But what is interesting to me anyway is that when I started, close to 15 years later, after starting Fountain's Pen Cartoons, we had. I remember talking to Tiger and talking to our early group there and trying to figure out, well, what should we do? What should we turn into cartoons? Now, we had sort of our three pilots that we definitely wanted to do, one of which is already up on the channel, Flotchy, Notchy, and Tip. Please go have a look at that when you're done with this as well. Then we've got two other sort of series pilots that we're looking to make, but we wanted to do really short, quick cartoons that we could put up as well, just to sort of keep our chops moving and really to help sort of work out the bugs of what it meant to create, online cartoons. So like, what are some quick gags that we can do that we can just bang out and just create really quickly and put up on the channel? And by the way, we do those. We call them Fountoons, and those are the ones that are usually under about a minute, 2 minutes long. And please check those out too because they're fantastic. I'm super proud of all of them. But one of the sort of things that stuck out right away that we were like, oh, this would look cool animated, is the Petty Avenger. It was a single panel strip with a very simple gag, and we're like, okay, yeah, let's do one of those. Well, what was interesting was right out of the gate, what started out as a pretty simple gag started to blossom into this much more kind of Looney Tunes style, almost Coyote and Roadrunner style gag-driven thing that expanded far beyond what the original cartoon was. And this was one of the things that I really love about our little incubator program that we've got going on here is people, because we're not taking anybody's money, and because there are no network executives, and because we're not answering to anyone other than ourselves, the people working on it were able to come to me and say, hey, we want to do this, and we want to try this, and we want to add this, and we want to sort of build on this otherwise, one panel, relatively simple idea. And the more stuff I saw that they came up with, the more I was like, you know what? Why not? Just run with it. Why the heck not? And the results are what you are going to see in the Petty Avenger cartoon. So, and again, I'm really, really proud of that. And we continue to do that. Like, we continue to take ideas and, the artists working on them, everyone is encouraged to sort of come up with new things to add and not stick so dogmatically to anything that necessarily was presented as the idea. And that's, again, I think that's one of the things that sort of sets us apart from what everybody else is doing in the independent animation sphere is we yes, we have our projects that we're really trying to get right, and we're really trying to, sort of act as though we're a traditional studio with. But then we also have our projects where we're allowed to experiment and play around and make mistakes and learn from those mistakes and build on top of them and get ideas from other sources. And I really think that that's going to be and continues to be one of our strengths. And it's what makes us unique. So, now that you know this, I hope you'll enjoy the Petty Avenger that much more. Please, please, please like, share, subscribe, spread the word, tell your friends, talk about it on social media. Because, like I said, this one was a couple of years in the making because we were having so much fun with it, and because people were having so many diverging ideas with what to do with it, and I think that makes it really unique and fun. Again, this is one of those ones. This was one of the very first things that we started working on, and it's taken a long while to get to this point. But I think it was worth every second of it, and I truly hope that you enjoy the results as much as I do. Once again, my heartfelt appreciation, gratitude, thanks to the entire crew. Their names are in the credits. Please go look at them. Reach out to them on social media. Tell them that you saw the cartoon and how much you enjoyed it. I am eternally grateful, and I'm aghast at what a delight it is to see this thing that was once just a one-shot, gag idea blossom into a completely different and a completely unique work of art in and all of its own. And I'm just so appreciative of everyone who contributed to it. Production assistants, voice, music, sound effects, backgrounds, props, all of it. Because again, this was one of those things, a lot of work went into this, and there's even lore now. There's all kinds of lore attached to it. So on that note, I will end this, and I will say to you all, once again, please have a look, and if you do like it, please spread the word. Please let your friends, family, let everybody know about this channel. We're trying to do something different here, and we're trying to do something good. So with that, I leave you with the upcoming and very beloved first adventure of the Petty Avenger. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Zigga zigga, party people.